During the early 1870s, when St. Therese was born, the Franco-Prussian War was going on, which was a war in an attempt to unite Germany. The Paris Commune was set up, which was a temporary government, but was defeated by the French army. Ever since St. Therese was little, she was close to God. She knew she wanted to become a nun like her sisters. On a pilgrimage to Italy, St. Therese, at the age of 15, asked Pope Leo XIII to be able to enter the Carmel of Lisieux. On April 9, 1888, her wish was granted and she entered the Carmel. In the Carmel, she embraced her way of perfection and offered herself to God, as well as performing many of the works of mercy. St. Therese of Lisieux was born Marie Frances Therese on January 2, 1873, at Alençon in the northwest part of France. Her parents' names were Louis Martin and Zélie Guérin. St. Therese's mother died in 1877, which led the family to move north to Lisieux. She had confession for the first time in 1883 and was healed from a very serious illness through the intercession of Our Lady of Victories. She received her first Holy Communion in 1884, and a few months later she was confirmed. At a young age, St. Therese knew she wanted to be a nun. She was granted by the Pope on a pilgrimage to Italy to enter the Carmel to become a nun at the age of just 15, and she changed her name to Therese. While in the Carmel, her faith was tested with the death of her father on July 29, 1894. She was inspired by the gospel to place love at the center of everything. She found her vocation, which was to draw everyone in her path in. In 1895, on the Solemnity of the Most Holy Trinity, she offered herself as a sacrificial victim to the merciful love of Christ. During this time, she wrote an autobiographical manuscript. Months later, St. Therese suffered a hemoptysis, or a coughing up blood. She welcomed this as a mysterious visitation, and from that point forward, she entered a trial of faith. A couple of months later, she wrote another manuscript called Manuscript B, which showed her spiritual maturity and her vocation in the heart of the Church. Her health continued to decline, and she began to work on Manuscript C, in whom she dedicated to Mother Marie de Gonzague. She was led to higher perfection with new graces and new insights on the message of the Church. On July 8th, her health had declined to the point where she had to be taken to the infirmary. All her sisters in the Carmel collected her works and sayings. She died September 30th, 1897, at the young age of 24. Her last words were, "My God, I love you." On May 17th, 1924, Pope Pius XI canonized her as a saint, and on December 14th, 1927, he declared her a universal patron of the mission alongside St. Francis Xavier. Her spiritual message was accepted all throughout the world and was translated into 50 different languages. Pope John Paul II declared her a doctor of the Church. St. Therese mostly focused on the spiritual works of mercy. She instructed the ignorant and counseled the doubtful with her works of writing. She prayed for the living and the dead because she devoted her life to prayer. She admonished the sinners by making her vocation to convert people to the faith. She did, however, perform some corporal works of mercy. She visited the sick by visiting her dying father and buried the dead when her father died. St. Therese of Lisieux had a very kind heart. She once said, "Miss no single opportunity of making some small sacrifice, here by a smiling look, there by a kindly word, always doing the smallest right and doing it all for love." She devoted her life to God and stayed faithful to Him, till death at an unfortunately young age. Even though she was young, she was very wise and mature. St. Therese faced many hardships in her life that she overcame with her faith, and she was declared a doctor of the Church because of her writings. She embraced the works of mercy by instructing the ignorant, praying for the living and the dead, admonishing the sinners, burying the dead, and visiting the sick.